I was out visiting my property in West Virginia, and I decided to take the opportunity to do a Jeep Walkaround, just to kind of describe why I chose the Gladiator and what I've done to it and what I like about it. Well, actually, there's nothing I don't like about it. So we bought the Jeep Gladiator because we had the utility function in mind, but we wanted to do some off-roading. I came from off-roading back in the late 80s. I did some four-wheel driving in Japan with a Jimny, and when I got back to the States, I bought a CJ7, and unfortunately I was stationed in DC. It's not a great commuter vehicle. So I got rid of it, and I got full-size four-wheel drive trucks. We did a whole lot of off-roading with them. I had an Avalanche for many, many years. I have 4 dogs, and that was a very utilitarian vehicle for a person with 4 dogs. I still have 4 dogs, so I wanted that utility. I need to be able to haul those dogs when I go places. So far, we've taken the Jeep in its stock form down to Texas from DC, and I've driven it twice to Michigan and back since we had it lifted. The long wheelbase lends itself to a nice road driving with the larger tires than the lift kit, and the bed allows me to haul all the things that I need to haul. With the tonneau cover, I can protect it. So that's kind of why I went with a Gladiator. Gladiators aren't known as the hardcore four-wheel drive vehicles or off-road vehicles because of the departure and breakover angles, but they have an advantage sometimes with the wheelbase. They can get over obstacles that the shorter wheelbases can't, so there's a little trade-off, but so far we really like it. We haven't run into any problems. Matter of fact, it's performed extremely well off-road. The reason I went with the Rubicon versus the lower models is because I wanted something right out of the gate that I could throw a lift and big tires on and go. With the front and rear lockers and all the other features of a Rubicon, it allows me to do that right from the get-go. And later on, if I get my use out of it and I want to replace the differentials and put bigger tires on it, I can certainly do that. So let's get into the build. So I drove out to my property in West Virginia and threaded myself back through the trees a bit and set up some game cams today. Well, some additional game cams. And I thought this would be a good opportunity to kind of do a once-over on the Gladiator. We've done a lot since we got it. It's been 1 year, well, almost 1 year to the day. And obviously, we've changed quite a bit. So we started off with a bone stock Rubicon Gladiator. Had all the options except for the bed liner. And we've added just a couple of things. So one of the first things I did is I installed a Metal Cloak 3.5-inch lift kit with the 6-pack shocks. It's been an awesome lift kit so far. We really like it. And then we installed these Method MR105 beadlock wheels with 37-inch Discoverer STT Pros. Again, I really like that combination. It's done quite well for us. We've done a few trails, nothing super difficult, but they've handled it fantastic. I very rarely even spin a tire. The big thing here, we've got the Rebel Off-Road Explorer full height rack that we put on, and we added the Moto Packs locking mechanisms for both fuel and for water. I've actually used both already. They come in pretty handy. I got a lift. This tire will not fit without rubbing underneath the Gladiator, so I went ahead and I got this tire lift from E-Trailer and installed that, lifted it up, put some ratcheting straps on there to make sure it's safe. It's actually gone a couple thousand miles that way, and it's worked out well. We've got a new Evolution 1 bumper with a tire holder that's going to be put on the back of the Gladiator, and the tire will come down from there so we can actually use that spot to mount our table. But for right now, it works out quite well. We've got the mount for the high lift jack and for the shovel. The high lift jack's probably going to go on the bumper mount once it comes in, but I may leave the shovel in place. We put in the D-ring. As you can see, it's scraped a couple of times. It's done its job. We've also used it to tow a couple of times. So, a little dirty. Sorry guys, this is not a mall crawler. We've got 4 of the Max Track boards on the side. We actually used one, and we used 2. We tore one of them up, and company was fantastic, and they sent me a replacement warranty. So that's kind of the deal there. And then see, we got the step sliders, and those are fantastic. Really like them. The truck isn't that tall, so it's a little strange for some folks. My dad's 6'4", and he has a little bit of an issue whether to use or not use the steps, but they come in handy for shorter people. So we put in the Fender Relocation Kit, or the high lift kit. So we took that out, we put in these liners. I like that. It gives it a nice clean look instead of seeing into the engine bay, plus keeps the engine bay a little bit cleaner. We got the factory steel bumpers. As I said, we pretty much got every option, and I opted to go with a Badlands winch, the Harbor Freight Apex Badland winch. It's a 12,000 pound with synthetic line. I put the Factor 55 Ultra hook on the front of it. I put a Warren mounting plate inside the bumper, and I really like this option. It's the winch has got pretty good reviews from most folks, and the cost of it is, crazy. I got that for $500, so you can't beat that. If for some reason I have an issue with it, then maybe I'll consider buying a more high-end winch. But I've got so many other things with the vehicle that I want to spend money on that it just seems kind of silly. As you can see, it's the Rubicon with, as I said, all the options. It's got the front-mounted camera, and then up underneath the hood, I haven't really done a whole lot. I did put a K&N filter, and I put a little worm today. I put the catch can, the UBR catch can, and I actually went ahead and got the blue so it matches. Not that anybody ever sees that. And the K&N filters in there. Other than that, and dirty, it's stock. And I've got the, what else is under there is the ARB air compressor that's mounted in, and I've got the remote kit. I use the Whale Life mounting bracket, so it's down underneath the master cylinder, the master brake cylinder here on the firewall, and then I roll the cable or the hose back through here. I mount it here, and then nice little cover that came with it, and you can flip the tires. Now, I'm probably going to look at relocating that at some point. It works, but under the hood gets really hot, and the air compressor gets hot anyways. And what happens is it winds up overheating, and I have to let it sit and cool before I can fill. These tires take a lot of air, so until I can get it cooled down, I can't completely fill them up. It'll get me to basic road. If I air down to 8 psi, it's not going to get me up to a full road psi, but it'll get me up to basically a limp mode. So on the inside, we installed the CB, and of course we installed the Factor 66 with bulletproof mounting for the phones. I got a GoPro mount there. We very rarely use the internal one anymore, but we still have it. I do have my my holster installed, and we have a dead pedal that we installed. You notice the CB antenna here on the outside. That's a Fire Stick with this Cobra handheld mic. I haven't yet tuned that in, but it's also got the mount for the GMRS radio that works quite well. And then my girlfriend put a tray up there in the grab bar so that she could store her stuff. We put the grab handles on front and back. Primarily, we don't really use that too much, but in the back we do. We've got a dog hammock that we put back here occasionally when we're hauling the dogs with us. Oh, and there's a van top video rear view mirror. It's got front view and rear view. It can do 4K video. I like that because with the spare tire mounted back here, there's not enough, you can't get any kind of view out of your rear view mirror, and I love my mirrors. So we've gone ahead and put that in. I really like it. It's worked fantastic so far. We've got on the molly panels, we've got some storage back here. Sorry, tons of junk here. And then because I do carry my gun quite a bit, we actually installed, no, it's locked. There's a gun safe behind the back of this seat. I keep the seat locked, and then if I need to get out and leave my gun, I can store it in this gun safe. Seat back, so I could show you. I use the small gun safe with the security cable latched to that hook there, which keeps it fairly secure. That's kind of a nice setup. We don't really use it that often, but handy to have. Locks to this body mount, so it keeps it fairly secure in this box. Obviously, the recovery gear comes at a fairly high price, so I'll make sure you secure that. Handle in it, and I keep my my large survival knife plus my axe and the part for the high lift jack, and then all of my recovery gear. I got a tire repair kit. We've got the 4-tire filler. We've got straps and soft shackles and hard shackles and you name it. We've got the recovery gear located in this. We also got the storage boxes lockable underneath. I don't really lock them much. We've got a small jump box, which I really like. We've used this a number of times. Actually not for the Jeep, but for my car. And that works really well. I've got my torque wrenches for the wheels and the tires, and then I've got my tool bag with all of my tools. Unfortunately, we've had to use those as well, not for us, but for some people that were with us that broke down on the trail. And then, of course, I have my first aid kit. So that's a walk around of the Gladiator as it sits now. Some of the things that we're working on, we're running stock gears at 410s right now, and we want to go ahead and get the gearing changed to 488s, and then we're going to put a full rock hard underbelly skid aluminum on the Gladiator, and we're looking for some leveling. I don't know if we'll be able to tell in this shot, but the weight of the vehicle is pretty heavy in the back end with all the stuff I've got on it, and it squats a little bit much. So I want to go ahead and look at some options, either spacers or maybe 4.5-inch tougher springs in the rear. But we'll see what option looks best at the time. Sorry, I was checking out the wildlife. Love the property. We've got 49 acres out here in West Virginia that we just purchased, and I really enjoy the solitude. All right, it's a good walk around of the Jeep. I'm going to go ahead and thread my way back through the trees and out of here. Thanks for watching. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments about the build, please leave comments down below. I will try to answer any questions that you have. And of course, there is no such thing as a perfect build. This build took a lot of research. It was built specifically for me and my requirements. Everybody's requirements are a little bit different, but I appreciate any and all suggestions, as that's where I've learned most of what I put into this build. So thank you very much. I'm just going to drive my way back out of the property at this point, so feel free to terminate the video at any time. There's no more content aside from me dodging trees.